Welcome back to Scinary Information Nexus, your podcast of sin.
Hello and welcome back. As always, I am joined by my colleagues, Joseph Hamilton.
Yep.
Mario Ortiz.
Yep.
And Brazos Wortham. Say hello, fellas.
Yep. Hello, fellas.
How's everybody?
I'm back.
I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a lot better now that Joe's here and can actually do the intro.
Yeah, the intro last week was pretty terrible. By the way, shout out to Jason Phillips for coming up and being a guest.
Thank you, Jason.
For us. We absolutely appreciated that for sure. And before I forget, next week we have a special episode where we're going to figure out who shot JR. It was a TV show back in the 80s.
Okay, I was thinking you murdered somebody.
No, he got shot in like 1983, but we figured it out. I digress. Malwarebytes will be coming in.
Well, 2 people from Malwarebytes.
No, the entire
crew.
company.
Yeah.
We're sticking them in a corner.
Making them drink.
Yeah, we're going to have like the biggest Zoom call ever.
So we will have Brian Kane, who is their senior vice president of MSP global something,
global MSP,
and Kendra Krause, the new general manager GM there. So it ought to be a fun episode for us to do. Hopefully, we'll get those guys to drink a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And speaking of beers, today, guess what, Mario? We are unsponsored again.
I just need to work harder.
You do. So today I am drinking the Paulaner Salvatore Double Bock, which is fantastic, by the way.
It is very good. I like Munich beers, anything from the Bavarian region for Germany. They do a good job.
Yeah, and I've got the 90-minute IPA by Dogfish Head Craft Brewery. It's a IPA, Indian Pale Ale. I haven't tried it yet.
Are you sure it's on Indiana Pale Ale?
Well, it's actually an Imperial India. You got me, I swear. Which I don't think I've ever had an Imperial version of an IPA, so that would be interesting.
All right, Indiana, or El Salvador,
Iowa,
please sponsor us.
Iowa. I don't like IPAs, so
They don't like you.
No, I do. The only IPA that I really care for is the Voodoo Ranger Wicked Juicy. And then there are some craft, like actual true craft brewery IPAs that I do like. Yeah, this isn't that good.
Well, speaking of Indiana and Iowa, Mr. Wortham, we've got some travel coming up in October. Where will we be in October?
So October 13th through the 14th, we will be in Des Moines, Iowa, at the Iowa Event Center for the IETC event there, where we'll actually be with our partners Insight as well. And then the following week to IETC, we'll actually be at Moornet. I believe that is at the Lake of the Ozarks, Margaritaville. And then following that, we'll actually be in South Carolina with our partners One Accord. 2 weeks later, then we will be in Illinois, Springfield, for another conference. So, man,
Getting busy.
You guys need to get one of those tour date posters so we can just slap it on the screen. And you guys
come into your town,
right?
next.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell on myself just a little bit here because we started planning all this travel 2 months ago. Y'all know how I get in the summer, right? I get real antsy. And so
Really hungry.
We got to go drum up business somewhere, right? So got on the interwebs and started, that's a conference that we can go to. Fast forward a couple of months, a couple of weeks ago, I had Brazos in my office. And Brazos, I really don't want to go to these conferences. See if you can get somebody to go with you. You're presenting at one, and you have to go. It's like, oh. So I will be with Mr. Wortham in Iowa in October in Des Moines, and then I will also be in Illinois
in November. Yep.
That's not Springfield. That is.
I'm pretty sure it is Springfield.
Oh, it is Springfield. Springfield,
Nice.
Illinois.
Yep.
We'll. Hey, Homer.
Oh my God!
who
What
was
was
that?
that? Fat Albert? Oh my God! I would have done
Were you
Bart.
trying to do Marge?
That was Barney.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Actually, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that one.
No.
I can see that one. Let's give him some credit. Let's drink some more.
Just taking like 2 swigs off that thing.
I'm almost done.
It's his fourth one.
Never mind.
Yeah, I pre-gamed a little bit. So
This is after coming up from the pub.
yes,
Right.
yes, absolutely. So been a pretty busy week in cybersecurity. We've got some news to talk about today, and the first piece of news that I want to talk about is something that hits very close to us, and that is our Attorney General Ken Paxton has decided to sue PowerSchools over their breach back in November-December timeframe. The headline is Texas sues PowerSchool over breach exposing 62 million students, 880,000 Texans. Now, we worked a lot of these incidents, right? Because a lot of our clients have PowerSchools on the back end. And I remember at the time, it was such a large breach that we could do what we could on our side, but because it was a cloud breach, it wasn't a network breach of any kind. There wasn't really much that we could do other than offer advice and tell them to, follow your state rules as far as reporting a breach. But we didn't really know what PowerSchools was going to do about notification of those folks affected. And lo and behold, I think Texas is the first state to sue PowerSchools over this breach. Now, here's the question I want to pose to you guys on this. Is this a lawsuit to really make things right and to give the schools the money back that may have, come from cost of cleanup, all that kind of stuff? Or is this a kind of, you messed up, I'm going to put the hammer down on you, and I'm going to keep all the money in the treasury?
I definitely, I don't know where the money will go.
Yeah, and that will be decided at least a little bit by the court. So,
but I do think it's more on the latter side of like, hey, we're going to do something to try to get people like, hey, if you do this, if this happens at this type of scale, we're going to come after you. Like
the notoriety.
Yeah. And his statement about it, which I found interesting, was basically that big tech can't just come in and get the easy money from the school districts that have to have something and then not do anything for that money, right?
Right.
And so because the charges that are being leveled against them are like basically improperly advertising themselves as a secure solution. Because they said, it was pretty demonstrable that they didn't have a pretty basic security in place, such as encryption or MFA.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other one.
Speaking of slurring, can you?
Yeah,
Another one.
you want
No.
Want
The
to try
pollen-
an IPA?
no.
He's got to refuel.
What's the timestamp right now? What's the,
Not the clock.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to look at the clock again.
8 minutes, 50 seconds. We got a ways.
yeah. I mean, at least we got 4 on the table, but Joe said those 2 were for him. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna try some of the IPA after this.
Continue, Joe. My apologies.
No, you're good. But yeah, and then the other one was basically that it was Identity Theft Protection Act, I think, is basically what they were going after. So basically, they knew they had sensitive personal information that could be used for identity theft, and they did not properly go through securing it. That again goes back to that encryption.
Well, they got everything right, like
They-
socials,
Yeah.
addresses,
Yes. Exactly.
names,
Exactly.
Yeah.
everything.
And so basically what the state of Texas is leveling against them is that you knew how important your role was, and you basically did nothing to adequately secure that whenever you're such a sensitive position with data, as far as like your role in
And
your
what they
service.
handle anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, because that was basically the entirety of their service was that all the student data could come to them and be easily queryable and
So
automated.
That is what an SIS should do, right?
Right.
So I was about to say, let's define what PowerSchools is. It is a student information system, an SIS, as we say in the biz. And it can, as far as I'm aware, it's a full-on ERP.
Yeah.
It can do human resources, finance, student data. It's a full-on self-contained ERP. And you said something when you were discussing this about encryption. I'll get to the MFA part in just a little bit because I think that's very, very important. But the encryption, if that data would have been encrypted at rest, then I don't know that the attack wouldn't have succeeded anyway because of the way that the attackers got it.
No, the attack would have succeeded. It's just the idea that the data that they wouldn't have gotten as much valuable data that way.
Right.
Well, I don't know because depending on how you set up the encryption, when you log into a system as an authorized user and you look at that data gets decrypted at that point. Right. So the way that, according to Bleeping Computer, the way this attack unfolded was that it was a customer support portal that was breached that did not have MFA on it.
Right.
So it was one of their accounts, one of PowerSchools' accounts, got popped. PowerSchools did not have MFA on this particular account. We can't make any judgment calls on whether they had MFA implemented company-wide or not because we don't know, but we know that this one account did not have MFA enforced. And the attackers used that to siphon off all of that data. The encryption of data at rest is very important. We know this is very important, but the primary risk associated with that is stealing of physical drives and being able, like, BitLocker is a thing that exists on Windows devices because if you lose a laptop and it's BitLocker, nobody can read the drive, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. This is from Bleeping Computer. The attacker demanded a $2.85 million ransom in Bitcoin on December 28th. And then it goes on to talk about how they went after it goes on to talk about how PowerSchools made a deal with the attackers to delete the data. And I remember this. PowerSchools put out a statement. We watched them delete the data. And every cybersecurity company in the world went, you got to be shitting me. That's your attestation that nothing happened, is you watched the attackers delete the data. And we knew that was BS. We knew it was BS. And then 2 months later, people that were affected by this breach, the records that were actually in the system, they started getting text messages and calls from the attackers saying, your school is not playing ball with us. We've got all of this data. How do you think we reached you? And really kind of being aggressive about it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out in court. I don't know my gut tells me that this is probably going to settle, and it's probably going to settle quietly.
That's, I don't know, because I do know they're trying to make a big deal out of it, like the state is. So I think it may go a little bit further before it gets settled. I think you may be right. I think in the end they'll settle it just because it's easier for all parties in the judicial system the way it's set up now.
Either it'll take so long that by the time, because it's in the limelight right now, but by the time the case finishes, no one be like, oh, well, that happened 5 years ago. No one even knows what's going on.
The other thing is we don't know what their goal is. For all we know, the goal was just to get it in the limelight.
Yeah.
I kind of think about like celebrities. Sometimes just having one bad press is enough to affect them. Maybe that's all they wanted. Let's bring this up now, right?
Well, there is an election year coming up next year.
Yeah. He's got his own problems on that one, but I'll leave that alone.
Yeah. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about that's in the news, I ran across this morning. I know you guys haven't had a chance to research this, but I think it would be interesting to talk about it on a future podcast when we've been able to do some testing on it. And this is from cybersecuritynews.com. Hackers leverage raw disk reads to bypass EDR solutions and access highly sensitive files. I read through this article, and a lot of what it says makes sense to me. I've done forensics on disks. I understand hex and all of that stuff. If what they are saying in this article is true, that you can leverage DLLs to read raw bits off sectors on the disk, then this is an attack that could absolutely be the future of ransomware, because it would absolutely bypass any EDR that I know about, because there's no commands that need to be run.
My thing is so it's going down to the level of trying to see someone like grabbing files or reading like the Hive location and that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's good for like an info stealer and stuff like that. But what we are already seeing in the wild is BYODs, bring your own driver attacks.
Right.
Where,
this article talks a lot about that. Yes.
Right. Which is similar to this in the fact that they just take an already signed driver and manipulate, sideload that, and then have it help install the malicious software. And I think that is the big thing with this and with the BYOD attack. They're right. There is a portion of the attack that can't be seen. However, as we've seen with the BYOD attacks, we oftentimes see the malware after the malware gets there starts doing its thing, or whenever they are initially compromising the account or trying to get onto the endpoint in the first place. Like, there's so many other steps in that process that can't be done through this particular method.
So in the risk equation, probability and impact, the probability of this attack at this stage is probably pretty low, because you're right. There's a lot of things that have to go right for an attacker to really do this. But it's an interesting thought experiment on how to get data off the disk. Now,
well, I think that's another thing as well, where there are a lot of controls in place. I think about our systems particularly, even though it may not raise one of our flags that we have set up, whether one of the standard ones that we use or the custom ones that we've created. We also do other statistics, right? One of the things that we notify on is, hey, you have 100 times the traffic you guys normally do.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of other controls if it's not just,
Yeah, and so if they're reading it off the disk, it's got to go somewhere after that. And so if they're exfilling, we talked about the importance of network monitoring a few episodes ago, and how it really
Last
can't.
episode.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
So I think that this particular attack wouldn't be good for a ransomware. It would be good for ransomware attack in the fact that, hey, I've got some really sensitive data on you.
Yeah. I think this is good for info stealer. I think this is good for maybe the data exfil portion of a ransomware attack.
You also have to take into account the target. So, for example, for a lot of the clients that we deal with, that's probably not, like, it does have some concerns, right? But whenever you're referring to stealing data off of a disk, who does that affect? Federal government. Like,
yeah.
So if you get highly sensitive areas with extremely sensitive data on disks that you need to be able to exfiltrate, that's going to be where this is, again, what Joe was always pointing to, the Chinese.
Yeah. Right.
That difference there.
Different ball game than what we normally like to play. But yeah.
But it points to what we talked about last week regarding the over-reliance on EDR being able to detect these types of attacks, where, yes, EDR is good. It is needed for modern day, security, but it should not be your one line of defense. If you do that, you're asking for it essentially. So multi-layers.
We will provide.
I really want to do some testing on this at some point in the lab, just to understand like how, because they detail this.
We should ask Mr. Kane next week.
Oh yeah, threat down, malware bites. Hey, how are you going to defend against this, buddy?
Well, so my other favorite that we've been seeing a lot of, and this is kind of in the same vein of those BYOD, is they'll use a driver from like another EDR product, and it's because those automatically access the kernel and turn off. Like they've been using it in order to turn off Defender has been a big one. And it's because the second that driver starts interacting with that kernel, one of its first steps is to turn off Defender so it can install the program. Well, if they can just stop it before it actually does like the install, well, you just disable Defender and now you're good to go.
Again, EDR is a must-needed tool. You must have it, but it is not the be-all, end-all. Just because you have EDR does not mean you are secure by any stretch. It is one piece in a giant framework of protection in your organization. Sorry, did you put jalapeno juice in this one?
Not
too?
in that one, no.
Oh, okay.
You're safe this time. I haven't been able to take off any of the labels.
Yeah. All the bottles still have the label.
Yeah.
You know, one of these days we're going to have to do something, but instead of removing the label, we just put a fake label on it.
Right.
Yeah. I really get them.
All right, so that is it for the news, at least all the stuff that I thought was interesting that we could talk about. So now I want to move it to tools, cybersecurity tools. And everyone has their favorite tool set in the cybersecurity community. And there's lots of nerd fights, I'm sure, that occur over this very topic. Now, I'm not going to fist fight anyone at this table, mainly because I would lose.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight Joe. I really wouldn't. And Brazos knows BJJ.
Yes, yeah. We've got a martial arts dude here and a Brazilian jiu-jitsu dude over there.
They're both martial arts.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
my gun doesn't come until next week, so I don't stand a chance until next week.
Company policy, no kinetic weapons.
No
sir.
kinetic weapons in the sock.
We got a foam sword.
A foam sword.
A foam sword.
Okay. All right. Very
It's
good.
in
What
my office.
anime character is that from?
No, that's how we keep workplace discipline.
You know that the flag that's in Ty's office that says the beatings will continue
Until
until
morale
morale improves.
Morale has drastically improved after that sign was put up.
That is fantastic. But seriously, I want to talk about what our favorite tools are. Now, I have my favorite tools. Obviously, I'm not as close to cybersecurity as I used to be, and damn sure not as close as you guys are on a daily basis. So mine may be a little dated, but I thought we could let me go down my list, and if it's on your list, say, got it.
Okay. All right.
Are you ready?
Big list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my list too.
Nmap.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was on mine.
All right.
It's
Yep.
not on mine.
You don't have Nmap on your list?
Nope.
All right. So, and again, the criteria, let me throw out the criteria for this. It has to be open source and or free. There can be a paid tier, but by and large, free or open source that anyone could access. My number one is Nmap. My number two, something I use on a daily basis, is DNSDumpster.
Yeah, that was on mine.
Nope.
I did not have it.
You don't have DNSDumpster?
I'm pretty sure my list is good at, well, one I think may be on other people's list, but I think mine's pretty unique.
Okay. Number three on my list is Shodan. Love me some Shodan.
Also didn't have that one.
Nope.
Okay. All right. IP API.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the one that I was like, this
Yeah.
is going to be on other people's list.
Yeah.
Nope.
I use that thing all the time. And when I was like putting together my list, I mean, I could really go nerd, and I've got some honorable mentions here. But it's the stuff that I use day in and day out, or I used to use day in and day out. And the fifth one that I got is VirusTotal.
Yeah, that was on mine.
Yeah. So, Brazos, what say you? What do you got?
So do you want me to go down the list but not give the explanations on each one first, or just go down the list?
I think we should go down the list, and then we'll get into the explanations.
Okay. So the first one, and one of the things that kind of similar to Richard is like the security that I'm doing is a little bit different than the basic SOC. So that's why I figured mine was probably going to be a little bit unique. My first one, MXToolbox.
I knew that was.
I do
Yeah.
have that one listed. I use that one frequently.
MXToolbox is something that I use constantly.
I thought about adding that one on mine. Yeah.
The next one that I put was urlscan.io. And use that thing
That's a really good one. Yeah.
all the time because when you combine it with MXToolbox for like phishing emails, it's extremely useful.
And by the way, we're going to put all of these tools that we like in the comments section for, the 5 people that listen.
Let us know what you guys like.
Yeah.
I expect 5 comments.
Hey,
Right.
sponsor us.
All 5.
Jason's gonna like have a list of 30 tools.
Yes, he is.
He's just going to put a malicious link there. Yeah, click it. We love you, Jason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, check your links whenever you're linking off of a
maybe use urlscan.io.
Oh my Lord. Are we going to have to start defanging our links in YouTube?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Maybe we should make our own PDF converter.
Oh man.
Can we call it PDF converter.exe?
Yeah.
All right.
But the next one, IP API, again, very common. Now the next 2, these are not really security tools, but it's something that I do truly use legitimately every single day. I don't one of these is on, it just starts when I turn on my computer because I use them so often. The first one, Notepad++.
I wrote that one down. I wrote that one down. Yeah,
I want to come back and
absolutely.
discuss that.
Yeah. So
Yeah. We can come back and discuss that.
So, and then the final one, again, not a security tool, but calculator.
Oh, okay. That one was a little different.
Okay, wait a second. Is it calc.exe?
Yeah.
Okay. But so that you can see if something launches calculator.
Well, that
Are you doing so much addition?
Well, most of the time I'm sending quotes. I'm like, I have to add up margin.
Know who he is?
Yeah, like
he's the Supreme Master Sergeant.
Sir, let me introduce you to Excel.
So Excel's equal some parentheses, then I've got to highlight the cell. Well,
oh yeah, it's tough.
Or I could just go to my numpad and type in the numbers, and it's super nice.
I'm definitely going to say I see your Notepad++. That calc may have been outside the scope of this particular exercise.
It is what he uses every day.
Every single day.
I did not say. Did I say cybersecurity?
No,
tools?
you said tools. I checked it.
Okay, so that is on me.
Yep, it is a tool. I use it every single day. I don't think there
gonna
goes
be
a day without me.
Finance nerds out there going, that's right. We use it.
Yep.
We use it every day.
Brazos read the terms of service. He read the end user license agreement.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of that, before we get back to the tools, the attorneys did agree to be on the podcast.
How much that cost you?
Yeah, about $500 an hour.
Which ones?
The ones that are going to be here.
Okay. we have like do you have 2 of them coming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have redacted coming and redacted.
So these people are basically the equivalent of Saul Goodman. Like we just found them. Right.
Yeah,
they do good work.
Yeah. Good work.
they are Scinary's attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You have to have these types of people whenever you work for a cybersecurity
they're attorneys.
company.
Yeah.
They also have bail bond company on the side.
Yeah.
Cool.
The normal stuff.
The normal stuff. Anyway, so please continue with your list, Mr. Worthing.
The calculator.
So MXToolbox, IP API, URLscan.io, Notepad++, calculator, and then as a honorable mention, because I do use it quite a bit, is VirusTotal, and then honestly NSLookup is another thing. It's a command line utility, but I do use that quite a bit, and curl.
Okay. Yeah, curl is a good tool.
All right.
Mr. Ortiz, what do you got?
So I got a decent list here, and I also read the EULA.
Okay,
because some of these are just things that I use.
DoorDash
quite
is on
often.
there.
Yeah.
That was number 18.
DoorDash is not
That
free.
was number 18. Well, he did say or a paid tier. So these are in no particular order, but the first thing and I told y'all like this might be a little cheesy to put on here. 1Password, a password manager. I use that every single day, probably every hour.
All right.
A password manager.
There are going to be cybersecurity folks out there melting down over that, but good. I use it too all the time.
It's one of the
I mean,
steps.
honestly, it's safe. You know, I mean,
If they want to guess my 64 character password, more power to them.
We drastically believe in password managers. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Don't-
absolutely. I'm
yeah.
like,
if you're not using passkeys.
Okay, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
the next one I had was also Notepad++.
All right.
All right.
VS Code being the third one. I do a lot of coding in there, especially
do.
in our dev environment. And not to mention, VS Code has just so many extensions that make life easier. So I can do 99% of what I need to do.
You know what
there.
also those extensions have sometimes?
Yeah, malware.
Don't say it. No, don't say it. Nope. Everything on the internet is real and true.
Especially when you put free in front of it.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Another one I had here, I put Abuse IP DB
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
or botnets.
Yep.
And then the next one, and I kind of put an umbrella term here. I put hypervisor. We obviously use Proxmox here.
right.
Another honorable mention there would be VirtualBox. Use
Okay.
the mess out of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
Sandbox have a lot of good use for it.
I will say this about VirtualBox. If you're looking to get into cybersecurity, or you're just curious about how things work, man, Oracle VirtualBox
Good beer, huh?
Yeah.
is fantastic for that stuff. You can just load it up on your laptop,
When you're done,
throw
kill
an ISO on
Yep.
it, play around with it, then kill it. Yep,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
very, very, very plug and play. I do like it. Yeah.
Yep.
The next one I had, I wrote a lot, by the way.
Oh, did you?
In case I didn't know how many of these we were going to share. Apparently, not too many. I had Wireshark.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wireshark.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did also put Nessus on here. While it's not a daily security tool that I use, we do use it quite frequently. So I put that on
Technically,
there.
they do have a free version that'll let you scan up to 10 IPs, or you could always learn OpenVAS and kill yourself.
So you know what
Gotta
the
censor that now.
so you know what the problem with OpenVAS is?
What?
It's OpenVAS.
Right.
Oh my God. It's if you get it configured appropriately, you can use it in production.
Right.
But trying to get it configured appropriately will cost you at least 5 years off your life.
I think one of the, and they may have fixed this now, but one of the big issues that back in the day was just how slow it was. That was like the primary issue. And
But because it, like when you start a scan, it's got all the modules turned
Yep.
on.
yeah,
Like you have to go in there and configure like what you really want to see.
Yeah.
And that's why it takes so damn long. Michael's been working on OpenVAS for 4 years to try to get it configured, and he still hadn't made it. So, any other tools?
So yeah, the last two that I have, and I'll just kind of merge them together since we kind of use them together. The first one is going to be our K-Base book stack. Use that pretty much every single day.
Yeah.
You know, just record keeping, that sort of deal. And then the last one that I forgot in the 2 seconds that I put my phone down, CyberChef.
oh yeah.
Oh,
didn't think
man.
I know. I'm so surprised you didn't have that one on there.
No, I really did think about putting CyberChef, but the thing is
Phenomenal tool.
I
Oh,
haven't
Lord.
since Teague has been here. I just
Oh,
look at what
yeah.
he does,
just
and
does
I'm
stuff
like,
for us.
I'm like, I don't need to do this anymore.
That man and the find and replace function is just like he can make anything look like anything else. Like,
So,
he's gotten very, very good.
Brazos, explain what CyberChef is.
So what it has, it used, so it's on GitHub. I mean, you literally just type in CyberChef, and it's generally the first thing that pops up. Just be careful about SEO poisoning or something. But it has a whole bunch of different functions. Like one of the things that I know I used to use it for a ton, just really quickly, was like decoding base 64.
Yep.
Right.
But then you can basically add a bunch of these different functions together. So let's say you had
Recipes.
a recipe. If you had like an obfuscated PowerShell script that maybe was in base 64 first, you know, you do your decode there, but then maybe it was XOR encrypted with like a key that you would find. You can add that function within the recipe, which is what they call it, and then put in your key, and it will just continue to stack these different functions, and you have an input and output on the right-hand side. It's super nice.
Do you remember, I think it was last year, we actually ran across obfuscated PowerShell that actually had commands like bake the cake.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
remember that one.
I was like, whoever wrote this is a CyberChef nerd.
Yeah. Well, and it's just a super cool tool. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with it, and not only can you decode stuff with it, but allows you to encode things. They've got like beautifier, like code tools. So if you need to go in there, and
extremely handy.
Like one of the big things that people do with like JavaScript and things on the web pages is they just flatten it in one single line, which is really annoying to read. So being able to take that and throwing it into this beautifier that's in CyberChef, and it actually, makes it, I don't want to say human readable because it's JavaScript, but at least I can tell what's going on.
More readable.
Well,
readable.
Well, and then that happens with like JSON as well. You get jumbled JSON, you can throw it in there and let it, beautify it or prettify it, whatever.
Pretty print
JSON, and it will, you can follow what the output is on it.
And one of the best things I feel about it is that you can actually just spin it up in. So we made a virtualized server for it. It's hosted fully internally. So all that stuff just happens. And so, because we deal sometimes whenever you're deobfuscating something, you don't know if it's going to end up being something sensitive in nature, or malicious. Well, that's why we're trying to deobfuscate.
Right.
And so this is a way that we can ensure that it's not being shared with a third party because we were able to spin it up internally. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 99% of the stuff that we see that's obfuscated is bad.
Yeah.
Those are good numbers.
But occasionally.
I mean, occasionally.
Well, with the base 64, if it were a password, we wouldn't want that.
So occasionally you'll get a vendor that base 64s their PowerShell commands because they don't want anybody to know what they're doing, how their software works, right? And I get that, but that's rare. Usually when we see base 64, that's bad news, and then you decode the base 64, it's further obfuscated after that, and that's where CyberChef comes into play and becomes really handy, especially if it's like XOR encrypted and you've all that.
You can find the key,
stack all the modules.
Yeah, because a lot of times from the base 64 encoding, if you go and look through there, you can sometimes find the XOR key or the function within the PowerShell script that builds the XOR key, and then or the value, and then you can use the XOR. And then you've got all the this isn't really keep going because
I do want to stop here and like tell folks that if you're an enthusiast of technology, if you understand the terms that we're talking about, we want you to listen. If you do not, we are sorry.
Yeah,
we are sorry.
You said a lot of stuff that don't make sense.
We understand it, but to the nerds out there, they know exactly what we're discussing and what we're talking about.
That being said, I really kind of wish, and to some degree, I was presented similar lists to these whenever I was starting out. But I really wish that someone had said, "Hey, like these tools are the really essential tools you should focus on first." Like having an understanding of these tools is going to help you out on your journey doing this.
So the issue I have with that is that somebody's essential tool is somebody else's, like, that's yesterday. For instance, I've got the harvester written down.
Yeah.
That's not even like supported anymore, right?
Right,
exactly.
Right, but
that's what I told him. Yeah.
Back in the day, that was something that I relied upon a lot to get like email addresses and things like that, mainly for marketing. I do
want to say because it is technically still included in the Kali suite. It is technically supported. You just have to go out and buy all the APIs in order to make it work.
Okay.
So
the underlying code is still functioning.
Yes.
It's just,
Yeah.
Well, I do know
until Google bans you.
If you have the API, then it should be fine.
Yeah.
I do know the other thing too is obviously with some of these, I know it was on your list, but depending on what your role is or your function, it may be different. Like and you may have this on your list, but one of the things that I did just because I do know how useful it is, but things like Burp Suite, Like
we talked about it.
It's like that's a really useful tool if you're like a web app pen tester.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest thing is a lot of our clients don't host their own web apps, so we don't get to really experiment with that very much. It's one of the things I want to expand our knowledge on in the SOC, but it's one of those things to where also we don't get to apply it very often. So it's one of those things to where there's not enough of a need in our specific space of cybersecurity for us to go down that path. It's enlightening. It's a cool tool. We've definitely looked into it multiple times, but it's just hasn't found a place within our daily functions.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times, most of the apps that we do see out there that, organizations use aren't owned by them. So we don't have the right to test them.
It's out of scope.
Right. It's out of scope.
Yeah. Whenever you're looking on the blue team side, honestly, a lot of the blue team tools are going to be like browser based things which, MXToolbox, PAPI, VirusTotal. There you've got urlscan.io, Joe's Sandbox. I mean, there's so many of them that are used. I remember whenever I was in the SOC, I had a tools folder that was probably like 50 links deep of just different things, because you would go to like, Alien Vault and you'd throw something in there and have no data, and then you'd go to VirusTotal and have something, or maybe you had to go really far and look at like multiverse or something if you wanted to find something. Like, do y'all even have that anymore? Like,
no,
we don't use that one at all anymore.
I thought about it because after we kind of integrated the development, like the lab environment, that just kind of got thrown out.
Yeah. I just remember that I did have a huge amount of links.
Do you want my list?
Yes, I would love your list.
Oh,
Cool.
I thought we had his list.
No, it's pretty much the same as everyone else's.
Fantastic. Join us next time.
Except I will say there's 2 on there that I think haven't been talked about yet, and one is kind of borderline for what you're. I'll say there's actually 3.
Worse than calculator?
No.
Okay. Let's keep keep it clean.
It is going to be clean. It is going to be
You said the first word.
I haven't said no.
Don't.
There's not enough beer here yet.
Right.
But so the first one's kind of a little bit of a loophole for your rules, and that is the fact that I know that Malwarebytes sells a free version out there. It just doesn't do everything that I like from ThreatDown. But I will say a good EDR that actually gives me like control of the endpoint. I love that. I love that, and it is my bread and butter.
Okay.
So that's like I said, that one's a little bit of a loophole. But then the other 2, the first one is KASM. It's kind of in line with what we were talking about with the hypervisors, but in this case, it's a containerization, and it's a front end for that allows it to be spun up and spun down very easily. You still probably need to know Docker pretty well in order to be able to do it, but you don't have to be an expert. Yeah, you don't have to be an expert in Docker in order to be able to make it work, which is the fantastic part about it.
I'm sorry, I had the camera on him as you were talking. My bad.
That's fine.
The pretty buttons.
Yeah. In case people didn't know, Richard has not picked up piano recently. He is actually switching the show as we go along. But yeah, no, with KASM, it makes it really easy to spin up containers. We have a specialized version of Kali. I'm going to put that in big quotation marks on there. But basically, we've gone in and done some Docker magic in order to get it built the way that we want it to be built. But now we can just spin up a containerized version of that machine. And whenever we're done with it, if we don't come back within a certain amount of time that we designate, it gets destroyed. So it's really, really great for doing suspicious, problematic things that could end up being a problem for your base machine. Doing it in a place where you can kind of have it containerized, and it's gonna go away. It's not quite a sandbox. I mean, there's still the potential for like escape, right? Container escape. So there is still some risk there, but it is hugely minimal to doing it on your base machine. So if you're wanting to investigate things that you're not quite sure what it's going to do, it's perfect for that. And so we love that part of it. And then my other one that I wanted to talk about was Metasploit. Because Metasploit framework, although I will say it's the new age script kiddie, is what it is. But I do think it's a really easy way of getting into the world of exploits and seeing how exploits work. And that can give you a better understanding of what you're defending against.
See, the sad thing is like, it's the new age script kiddie, but it works.
Guys,
It does.
Guys, I hate to cut in and cut this short, but we have an incident to go work. I just received an email. So
All right.
join us next week. We will be back to talk about something else in cybersecurity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.